Good morning. This is TMI Socials, and my name is Anu Luwapor Stevens. It's a new week, and there is no better place to begin your week other than this morning on ITV. We quickly go over to things that trended over the weekend on the space of socials. So it's no longer news that the pupils and teachers of the Apostolic Faith Montessori School in Emure Ekiti, kidnapped on January 29th, have regained their freedom. Now, the school children were released earlier yesterday. However, the driver, who was also among the abductees, was killed and burnt by the assailants. Efforts to reach the police spokesman in Ekiti State, Abutu Sunday, were unsuccessful, but sources in the community confirmed their release. The Ekiti State Government has also confirmed the release of the victims. Now, this is actually a good way to kickstart your morning with some good news, sort of. Let's move over to how you shared your thoughts on the social media space. This user, Diola Honeyharg, says, I can't imagine the trauma those children will face, or more, may God heal them. Amen. Another thought right there. This one says, while I am glad these souls have gained their freedom, it is sad still to see how degenerated our communities have become. We pray and pray, but lack actions. What structures were put into before and after this incident to prevent reoccurrence? I know he is doing great, but we must do more. With all of this going on, we shouldn't lose our freedom with it. Full stop. Now, another user on Instagram says, the trauma for these kids, they shouldn't have gone through this. And another one says, these are children that you want them to grow up tomorrow and be loyal to their country. Indeed, that's a question and a food for thoughts, I would love to say. Now let's move over. All right, finally on this particular story, this one says, the government needs to be ruthless and bold. This is not the time to play politics of second time. State government should be allowed to buy drones, and the president should be lobbied to achieve this. Local hunters should be recruited to the Amotekun. You set up a local intelligence gathering network to supply useful information about what happens in their environment to the DSS in the state. The hunters, farmers, and the traditional chiefs should be solely recruited into this network. This is important because there is no trust between the locals and the police. This network should also work with the Amotekun in all the local government in the state. Border towns should be secured. The volatility of security challenge in Kogi can easily get to Ekiti through these areas. Now that's quite a lengthy one there, but he surely do have a point. Now in business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, on Saturday said there was no plan to convert a $30 billion domiciliary deposit to Naira. Reports had earlier emerged in the media that the federal government and the apex banks were considering the conversion of foreign currencies in domiciliary accounts of citizens to Naira to stabilize Nigeria's currency, which in the former week recorded its worst performance in history. However, the Apex Bank dismissed this report as fake news in a post on Saturday, urging the public to disregard such speculations. It says, and I quote, no plans to convert $30 billion domiciliary deposit to Naira. This news is fake. End of quote. Let's move over to your thoughts on the space of socials. This one says, so what's the real plan? Because speculations have it that there seems to be no plan at all. Or more, I don't finish all my small English for this administration. No, wait till be this now. What English did you even speak here? But anyways, let's move over to another one. This one says, what if that's the only solution to the problem? How can we be having more USD deposits in banks than our own currency? Do you know how much is $30 billion? Which country in the works is that even possible? That's foreign currency deposits almost surpass local currency deposits. Now, this particular CBN is totally confused. That's what he says there, according to him. Let's see another reaction. This one says, if we keep doing the same things in the same way, we will get no different results. We need to apply square pegs in square holes to get the best economic results. That's what this guy is saying. And finally, on the story, it can't even work. A lot of Nigerians are not educated at all. There is no how it will even work, even if they want to. Because Naira is not accepted globally, so it can't work for the Nigeria financial transaction system. Full stop. Now, there was also a trending video of the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, on the space of X, as he said that with Nigerians, he has actually expressed disappointment with Nigerians on social media, X, formerly Twitter, who went about celebrating the depreciation of the Naira against the dollar, labeling them as clowns, in quotes. Now, Shettima made this known while speaking at a function in Abuja on Wednesday last week. Let's have a feel of what went down in Abuja.
It's heartening and disenchanting, but stupefying and heartbreaking that yesterday when the Naira plummeted to 1,500 to the dollar, instead of us to coalesce into a single force and salvage our nation's economy, sadly, some clowns are celebrating on Twitter about impending implosion of the Nigerian economy.
Alrighty, so clowns, he says you guys are. Let's see how you reacted on social media space. So this one says, are we the government's Phoenix Gold asking, were we there when we floated the Naira? Were we there when you removed the subsidy without plans? I beg. Well, so many where we going on there. Celebrity Sales Boy says, it's your job. You campaigned and signed up for it. So fix it. Not carry the problem. Share give us so. Share day your day. That's what this one is saying there. All right, moving over to another one. This guy says, these guys are always looking for who to deflect attention and blame to. What has comments on Twitter have to do with monetary policy that have control over, that they have control over? That's what he's asking. All right, still on the story. Shettima will handle security and Tinubu will handle economy. You never waited for the people to come together as a force to make that decision. Please, let's continue on this mandate. That's what Emeka is saying on social media this morning. And finally on the story, come together when Tinubu himself said you will be in charge of security and he will be in charge of the economy growth. I beg, sir, we never start to produce chips and corn. It's really the chips for me, by the way. But anyway, what can we say? Social media space is one hilarious space that things, just keep on bubbling. Moving over to my second story, or my fourth story, rather. So amid concerns over the surge in kidnappings and insecurity across Nigeria, the police public relations officer, Olamuyiwa Adejobi, addressed the public in an interview on a national television, asserting that there is no rise in kidnapping incidents in the southwestern part of the country. Now, Adejobi attributed the reported cases to the region's topography and waterways, emphasizing the interconnected nature of water routes leading to states like Delta, Port Harcourt, and Bayelsa. He further challenged the authenticity of many online reports, claiming that a significant number of kidnapping cases shared on social media are either staged or fabricated. Let's listen to him verbatim, and I'll be here for your thoughts.
Like that. Forget what we read in social media. Reality, it is not so. This one in Ekiti is just an isolated case that just happened recently. It's not that something that is happening on a daily basis. No. We have cases that are isolated, but when you read them on social media, you think it is not what you have on record. So we don't have the incident of kidnapping on the rise from Ekiti or anywhere in the southwestern part or in the northeastern or southwestern part.
All right, let's see your reaction on social media. This one says, what does an average Nigerian life mean to you? We're talking about life here. The statement that is just one incident is baffling. Are we waiting for it to happen again? Just imagine these are the people entrusted to save our fundamental human rights, life and property. Hashtag Nigerian Lives Matter, hashtag human rights, hashtag accountability needed. All right. Now this one, Don Fadiga on Instagram says, the president might be a problem, but the people around the government are the main problem. Always downplaying the sufferings of Nigerians. That's what he is saying. All right, moving over to another thought, still on the story. VC Perez says, Ekiti equals, it is he forests. Bawari, it is the topography. Lagos, it is the waterways. Excuses, blaming nature over your job. Canada equals to cold Abi. Imagine the terrible mindset of a senior police officer. What will Corpora be thinking? That's the question he is asking. And finally, on this story, 70% of kidnappings and insecurities doesn't make it to social media. That is what really King Wan is saying on the social media space. Now let's have a feel of what really, was like the big story for a lot of Nigerians in the footballing scene, where the Super Eagles of Nigeria have defeated Angola to become the first team to book a place in the semi-final of the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast. Ademola Lookman was again the hero, connecting with a cross from Moses Simon to put the Eagles in front in the first minute. The goal was enough to secure a place for the Nigerians in the last four of the competition. Now, the three-time continental champions advanced to a last four tie this Wednesday against Bafana, that is South Africa. Let's see your reactions to the story. This one says, I am so proud of our country. Yeah, proud country moment at this point. And Adu Ade says, find me antelope suya with Cameroon pepper. Inside Ghana must go. If you know, you know. Onyinyechuku says, the way Nigeria is going, we are likely to win this. Do you think so? Now, still on the entertainment part of it, yesterday was the Grammy that took place in LA, Los Angeles, and we had our amazing personalities represent Nigerians, likes of Davido, Asake, Burna Boy, were, nominated for different awards. And the shocking part of it is Tyla, a South African, actually did beat Burna Boy to win her particular session of the Grammy yesterday. So she won with her 2023 hit song Water, which made the top 10 across 16 countries, including the UK and the US. I feel like this story is not a one where I would talk about it. I feel you should just have a feel of what went down yesterday at the Grammys if you were not present in LA.
And last year, God decided to change my whole life. So thank you so much to God. Thank you to my team, my family. I know my mother's crying somewhere in here. Thank you to the Recording Academy for this category. It's so important. And I know I'm forgetting some things, but I want to Grammy.
Oh my God, it's the I want a Grammy for me. But anyway, let's see your reaction on social media. This one says, when we cultivate the habit of appreciating our own thing and not wait for white validation, then we will believe in our craft ourselves. Una they boycott and feel less about headies for Grammys, but the Grammys doesn't rate you. Wizkid knows better. Okay, if you say so. Another one says, headies don't pass Grammy for our side. No, they chase Grammy. Naija musicians, make una join hand, carry headies waka, rep Naija all the way. Afrobeats, we day on top. No, let them trash our vibes. We're too big for that. That's what More Exchange is saying on socials. Do we have another reaction to this one? Let us see. Now, the Royal Quell says Nigerians should boycott Grammy. This is absolutely an insult to us Nigerians. The award she is getting is due to Baba's 70s song. We should all ignore and boycott Grammys. They are getting intimidated by Afrobeats. They realize Afrobeat is taking over, but they can't handle it. The Pupils, I am pissed. That is what this one is saying. Okay. Now one more reaction to the story. Let us see. Okay, now that's all we have for the story. And I remember DPO that the trends yesterday was, you know, the anger due to the fact that Davido did not win because the other persons were, you know, agitating and craving for him to win.
Actually, he was nominated for about 3 categories.
Yeah, for 3. And of all of the 3s, he didn't win anyone. Burna Boy, the same thing. Asake also, and, you know, Ayra Starr. So what really do you think about this?
I think they shouldn't see it as anything. Whether
really?
Yeah, whether Grammy, like
okay.
Or not, Nigerian music, Afrobeat has come to stay. It's a force that has gained international recognition. I saw a video where Rick Ross was talking about collaborating with some African guys. He talked about even some upcoming artists. He talked about Odumedu Black.
Yeah.
He talked about Portable and all that. So I don't think people like Davido that are already A-list artists, they shouldn't feel bad. For Tyla, she shouldn't worry. Congratulations to her. But Bafana will collect Woto from the Super Eagles. There will be a match. Since they decided to give the Grammy to Tyla, we'll be meeting with Bafana on Wednesday.
Yes, on Wednesday.
So we'll give it back to them. For Grammy, they shouldn't let that bother them. But talking about national issue, this government is struggling at every level. The Naira is falling. The economy is hard. People are not really breathing. The president actually said we should allow the poor breathe. But the truth is, Mr. President, Nigerians are not breathing. Muyiwa Adejobi, the police spokesperson, he talked about the kidnapping thing not being real. How did we get here? The kidnapping in Ekiti, monarchs are not safe. People are not safe again. Thank God for those girls, those little pupils that were released from the dens of these lions. But the driver lost his life.
Sadly. So
what now happened to the driver's family? If he is the breadwinner, which I presume he should be, what happened to the family? Nobody's talking about the man who died. So I think the security architecture should step up. The government, we heard Shatima talking. Well, I wouldn't want to dive into that direction.
Why?
You promised Nigerians that you wanted to work.
Yes.
You assured Nigerians that you will hit the ground running. You actually hit the ground running.
No, the president said he's going to hit the ground running.
It's their government. It's a government. He's part of the government. He's part of the government.
Okay.
You understand? He's part of the government. So President Tinubu said they were going to hit the ground running. Please, Nigerians are not breathing at this point. APC government just recovering from to Nigerians. And now Tinubu let them whine. It seems that you're trying to grip of your government. It's not really fair. Nigerians deserve better.
There's a whole lot of things, you know, happening right now in this country, from insecurity, kidnappings, and all of that. And right now, the only thing that is trying to distract us and keep our minds sane is football and the entertainment. And
at the end of the day, we'll still get back to our normal life. Now, we don't know. Power is a problem. People don't even have power. I was walking by a particular street that used to have constant power supply, and I saw lights everywhere. And I asked, they told me, no, everybody on this street provide power for themselves. So if government no longer give us water, we get borehole water for ourselves, we get energy ourselves. I mean, people construct roads now themselves. So
Sadly.
what is the government doing for the people? A whole lot, Mr. President, is calling for your attention. And I think you should be back to the country by now, or we should be expecting you before the end of the week.
It's still cruising.
From your holiday in France. Please return back and get to work.
Immediately.
Nigerians are not smiling.
Right.
All right, this is the much we can take.